Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for joining after your lunch. I hope you feel good and not too sleepy. We'll try to keep you awake. We wanted to talk to you today about a very specific and essential topics, which is vocational training and how XR can change the future of these trades. I'm Laurent Da Dalto. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called MIMBUS, fresh company that doing global deployment and creation of immersive training solution for trades, for skilled trades mainly. And I will be your moderator today for this session. I'm very happy to have two very special guests with me, and I would like to ask them to introduce by themselves. So, Philippe, can you start, please?
Hi, everybody. I'm Philippe Murat, a project manager in AFPA and digital project manager. I'm leading project about immersive learning, and I work with Catherine.
Thanks a lot, Philippe. So, Catherine, your turn now.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Catherine Gervaise. I am the French pedagogic director at AFPA. We are an historic and unique training company in France with 126 training center. AFPA is a leading professional training organization in France and Europe with more than 3,500 trainers and an average of 100,000 trainers per year. We starting in 1946, but we love successfully integrating new immersive technology into our training sequences in the field of construction, industry, or services. That's why our trainers use immersive technology like simulators and VR, including welding, wood varnishing, and safety training with our partners, MIMBUS. Our goal is to develop pedagogical scenarios that help people acquire professional skills. So we are interested in talking to others who believe in the pedagogy first approach in technology.
Thanks a lot, Catherine. That's amazing. That's a huge organization. And as you mentioned, the story started 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, you created the first welding training system in the world, came from AFPA. So that's amazing. You have a long track of evaluating this area. Indeed, the company I created was created thanks to you, thanks to all the work we did together in 2011. 2013, we created also the first woodworking solution in augmented reality that is still on the market, this wooded table product. And we're still working today, and we will continue to work today on more advanced solution with the evolution of the technology that makes the things smaller, cheaper, and so easier to deploy, as everybody knows. And so, Philippe, coming back to you, what would be in your mind? What is your feeling about this technology? What is the key element to think when we want to integrate immersive solution into a vocational training?
Thank you, Laurent. It's a good question, and I would answer about speaking about resources, and I would highlight about design. What's missing today is a comprehensive approach of the value-added chain in the design of pedagogical resources. In France, I did the observation of a hesitant professionalism in a specific part of the workflow for creating XR educational resources. And generally, when you heard about this kind of software that are created from companies self-named EdTech, with a lot of tech and a poor educational approach. My opinion, of course, but that's a question that we answer.
There's a lot of EdTech in the room.
Yes, I'm sorry. So what? Well, following a proven methodology, I questioned dozens of people involved in XR in France about what they seem to be missing, or at least what they would like to have more to create resources for learners. Everyone ended up at saying educational engineering. Okay? That's why we started the creation of an educational incubator for the ministry, a kind of POC, response to the demand for professionalization of an entire sector. XR in the field of pedagogy and learning is in a phase of structuring and maturing of the market. Acceptability requires educational resources that are perfectly adapted to the systems in place, training agency, universities, small and large companies. This is how the incubator provides a certification response for practices that are already more or less in place. There is nothing revolutionary, of course, simply ensuring that all the needs expressed by the client are covered from upstream to concrete use by end users that are trainers and learners. And this is how we have grouped the skills necessary for a project manager dedicated to immersive learning. This project manager is not only a tech go-between, but he's got a high-level pedagogical skills to ensure measurable value by design. That's what.
Okay. That's an amazing initiative. How many incubators do you have today?
We have 3 incubators are just starting in next year in January.
Okay,
in 3 cities.
Okay, all right, in France.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so well, people in the audience can come back to you and see what's happening in this incubator. All right,
of course.
Amazing. So, okay, going now on the field, and because Catherine, you are leading the learning skills and the learning programs at the AFPA, how will it happen on a daily basis? How will you make that happen? How will you enable the integration of immersive technology into your program?
Perhaps I can give a use case about the welding, as we spoke about. So 20 years ago, with MIMBUS, we were the pioneers in the use of welding simulator for adult training. We have equipped 60 training centers with the wave simulators, as you see. Why did we choose welding? Because mastering the technique requires a lot of trial and error training, which is long, restrictive, expensive, and dangerous. Some of our trainers are willing to experiment. However, for this to be successful, there are certain essential points to respect. I can name 5. First, we must acculturate and convince trainers and managers to the interest of virtual reality. Trainers must be reassured because they were used to showing the technical gesture to trainees. We had to convince them that the simulator would not replace their know-how, but what it would complement the training in the workshop. Secondly, the virtual reality must be aligned with our teaching method. We don't need a wow effect. We need to identify skills can be better taught with virtual reality and create engaging learning experiences that go beyond just being immersive, with allowing mistakes and reflexivity. The welding simulators was designed with an AFPA educational engineer to integrate our educational specificities. And there were 3 iterations allowing to integrate the new features. Thirdly, infrastructure and maintenance of the simulator. This was one of the problems with this deployment. We need good network, and if the simulators break down, the device must be repaired quickly. If not, the simulator will no longer be used by the trainers. Fourth, a data monitoring system. Since the simulator was designed, we have developed an integrated learning monitoring system. This helps track learner progress, engagement, and performance, and allows trainers to tailor learning activity to individual needs. This was a very important point for the trainers because they saw the added value that the simulator brought in monitoring learning. Finally, the partnering with MIMBUS was crucial for developing these simulators that meet our educational requirements. Some of the 60 trainers abandoned the simulator because it seems too far removed from their professional practice and maintenance too slow at the beginning. But for the most part, the simulator has been used for over 20 years, and we are still using this kind of teaching method.
Thanks a lot, Catherine. Oh, that's insightful. So yeah, you mentioned, you emphasize on the fact that there should be a method, there should be a follow-up, a tracking, and in follow-up of the trainers and into the curriculum. That's fine. You did not mention, you know, the maybe what's happening then. So how do you evaluate the efficiency of what you've done? You mentioned that some trainer dropped off and so on. But what about the real return on investment? How did you evaluate that? You want to contribute?
Perhaps I begin, and after I give you because we collect all the best practice of our trainers in local and in the national, and to see what is the pedagogic add value, what is the problem, and what is encourage. Memorial and courage. So we collect all the human practice to evaluate the system.
Okay.
I mean that the answer could be addressed by not a KPI like in general you would say return of investment, but return of expectation. What kind of expectation we have? And at first we did not have agreed to evaluate that, but by the time, on 20 years, and now we evaluate that there are change about the comportment, about digital approach and digital tools, whatever. And this is a matter to manage the change management with human people. That's the core, what we are at AFPA's core. And this is very important that this kind of solution, like XR, VR, and AR, that challenge the trainers, and the trainers challenge the tool too. This is a combination of two, and we manage that. It's very important to do.
So for you, the return on investment is more on the social aspect?
Yes, it is.
You don't have any or you don't have any return on investment on time or money?
We have got on time, we have got on money.
Okay.
Yes, we speak at first in January because our culture is social. But of course, when you use something like welding or about wooded table, you lose. You don't
save.
lose. You save.
Save.
You save lots of woods, of copper, of something expensive. When you use that, it's very interesting.
So you still collect. So you said you're collecting that. So the trainer provide information, feedbacks that is centralized, right?
Yeah, to the engineer.
Okay.
And this is a good loop. Value good.
Is it still something you're running right now, or?
Yes.
Did you improve this feedback over the time, or like you started with welding and then you did more?
At the start, it was.
There was no feedback. Okay.
No, it was a big POC.
POC. Okay, right. So okay, that's good. That's good to know. So that means that you have a method now to collect the feedback and evaluate KPI and return on investments. So yeah, I invite the audience to ask you more at the end of the session if you want to have more detail on your methods.
Of course.
Coming back to so now, okay, we know that you're using that for a while. You're running in this technology today. What is your feeling of the future? What will come? There's a lot of change. There's a lot of regulation change. There's a lot of change coming up for vocational training. So maybe Philippe, as a technical expert, can you let us know your vision of what would be vocational training in the future?
Okay. At first, I would say it's an endless run, hardware and software it change all the time. And this is a challenge because we have got a professional training needs must focus on pedagogical aspect and not on the bad problem. We have to tackle the real problem. The real problem is to consider the technical solution just like it is. It's an answer to a pedagogical learning problem. Okay. So if you ask me, what for the future? I would say maybe haptics, because we are in the Chester world, and haptics, okay, but lightweight, easy to use, easy to maintain. Okay, it's a kind of wish list, I know. Of course, we are looking for best transfer, and haptic is a complement because of seeing, hearing, and haptic is very interesting for us. Maybe olfactory, we tested that. Okay. Second point, I would love that the hardware and we have a all fit one device. We are lazy as usual, and
Everybody?
yeah,
we are all lazy.
We are all lazy, and the adaptation curve is the smaller as it is better as it. Then lightweight, long-lasting battery, top refresh rate, auto calibration. Okay. Finally, that's it. That disappears. They become as friendly as a tool like a pencil. It's what we are looking for. And at least, of course, I have to mention but the software and AI. What we're waiting for a low cost but efficient interactivity. With our example, we have a trainee in Excel world, and you have to speak with an NPC. Okay, and this non-player character is not a script, because a script, the trainee say, I know the answer, I know the answer, it's okay. And now with AI, we have NPCs that can answer with a frame, a pedagogical frame, fine-tuned by the teacher just before. And for this person, it's very important. But we have to be transparent about that. It's important.
Transparent, what do you mean?
I mean that if you use AI, if you use data, we are under AI Act. We spoke about that this morning, and this is very important for each people, trainers, managers, and at the end, learners, that everybody knows that we are, with your data, we are very clear.
Okay, inform them.
Very important to inform,
All right.
of course.
Okay.
Then,
All right.
and I, of course, I'm
AI, yeah, AI is a big thing. So,
big thing.
And if well, you said at the beginning, Catherine, that you have 3,500 trainer, right? So that's a lot of people. Yes. So it's and I guess when we're talking about welding, when we're talking about masonry, they are probably not very advanced in technology. So you ask them to integrate virtual reality. Now you ask them to integrate artificial intelligence to become like a technician of the future. How does it work? It should be tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Really, it's tough because for one part, the trainers say, "I'm a professional. I don't want to something that they say what I have to do. I am a professional for my field, from masonry or what you want, and I'm a professional learner, teacher, learner. Okay, because I have to learn how to teach for the other one. And at the end, now he have to change his posture, how he feel.
What he's doing.
What he's doing. He's transforming by a kind of coach,
Okay.
a facilitator, someone who drives in the good way, just at the moment, not before, not after.
It's a big change for him.
Yes, it's a big change.
So how do you do that?
Step by step. We have got facilitator in our proper team.
Nationwide?
Yes, nationwide, exactly.
Okay.
And we promote that by example. And we are creating just now a little laboratory, immersive laboratory, to promote it. That XR is not so difficult. You could use it easy here. Just try, please. And we are starting to go with this solution to try to upskill all people, but step by step.
Do you have a training program for them, or?
Yes, we started. We started a training program about AI, and we started a program about XR with going to a certification. And I spoke about POC. It's for the state, for the ministry, but the reflection is for ourselves. And
So there will be a kind of diploma for the
micro certification,
like an added value
and
for-
at the end, a diploma.
Okay, that's interesting. So that means you think that there would be a need for dedicated upskilling for
Of course,
the
it
trainer
is.
too.
Yes, it is. And for the adult, we are speaking about adults only. We are adults, and when you are a teacher for adults, a trainer for adults, you have to these new skills have in your portfolio.
Yeah, sure. They have to. It's mandatory.
Yeah, it's mandatory.
Amazing. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, both of you. That was really insightful. I hope you like this discussion. So, first of all, I invite you to have a big round of applause for Philippe and Catherine. And then we'll be happy to take any question in the room. I think we have 5 minutes remaining. So, thanks a lot.
Hi. I do a lot of let's say installations and art installations and VR installations. And I'm really interested into haptics, but in the way you mentioned it, which is actually probably building more larger devices that actually mimic the functionality and feel, have the scale and the weight of the real tool. Is this what you're talking about?
It could be, but haptic for us is when you have we try to teach and learn with disability people, and we have some time of exoskeleton, you know, this is a help, but the haptics for XR is just for a better experience, because our pedagogical approach is experience. This is basic one. The basic word is please experience the gesture, experience this. If it's missing, and sometimes it's really missing, and we have to do that in real life, it's maybe dangerous, then haptic is a complement. And so it could be a small one,
right,
but an effective one.
So I meant like force feedback, because some things have weight, some things have size. Like the wood simulator you have is working on the real wood machine, right? Okay.
No, the wood simulator is an independent table, but they have a force feedback integrated into the platform, so you feel the strength of the blade on the wood.
Right.
It's not on the real machine. And that
right. Okay. So that's a specific machine
that's
made for that purpose.
Yeah, you're right. That's independent.
Okay.
And that goes with the question of augmented reality and virtual reality. What would you, if a training center want to equip with this technology, would you go for virtual reality? Augmented reality can be a real machine, augmented, but VR is no machine at all. So what would you go for as a training center?
Each question, each case is a unique case,
Yes, okay.
Of course. But VR is very interesting because you are focused. For training, it's very important to be focused on something. Okay. And we have the embodiment that is very important in VR. But AR may be very interesting to do a continuum, a pedagogical continuum until you are
to reality.
Exactly.
So the transfer that you're mentioning, the transfer to the reality is easier.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Thanks. Any other question in the room?
Maybe, if you don't mind, I have a question.
Sure.
As a game designer, when I see your examples you're showing, I wonder if there's also an element of fun in the applications. I know it's a serious application for educational purpose, but humans learn way better, in my experience, when there's like engaging content, fun, maybe achievement, stuff like that. Maybe you can say something to that?
Yes. We started a long time ago with serious games, of course, and the gamification is always at 10 or 20 years ago it was an independent approach. Okay, we are going to gamification, and now it's generally an approach. When we are creating a new engineering, pedagogical engineering, we are picking up that some interesting approach and. Okay, gamification here it's very interesting, and but not here. It's not one fit all that for the it's,
okay, thank you very much.
One.
One very short question.
I don't know if it's short, but I'm looking at the moment as far as a roadmap. We've entered like 2 weeks ago. Officially, we're in the age of agentic AI, like agent AIs that can actually be a coach. Like you're talking about now, the role of the trainer has changed. It's now a coach. How soon do you see in your roadmap this integration of an AI agent that's maybe watching your behavior, is able to track your skeletal movements, it's able to say, raise your elbow on the left a little bit more, use on your form, any number of things that could be enhancing the experience for the user?
We discussed about this approach with a gesture, with an AI. We helped with the gesture because we discussed with a guy who got a PhD, and he said this is a very good interest. He said us that you want to create a program, a European program, to have some money to research about that, because this is a
Deep short answer.
probably. Oops, zero.
Thanks.
We have to
You can talk later. Sorry, Philippe, sorry. Thanks a lot for the question. A very interesting question for the future.
And thank you so much for you to share your knowledge. And we will see you again after a very short break. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.